Welcome back to Mrs. Bisson's virtual classroom. Today we're going to be working on the same unit, solving percentage problems using proportions, and we're going to be working specifically with commissions, markups, and discounts. And I know we've been working on this previously in the classroom, but we're going to go into a little bit more depth and have the guided notes available for you as well that you can use when you're studying for the test. For this class, you'll need a sharpened pencil with an eraser, a calculator, guided notes sheet, and of course you'll follow along and fill in the spaces as prompted in the video. If you are watching this in the classroom, you'll also need your headphones. So make sure that you have those supplies before you start the video, and pause the video if you need to go get any of these items and come back and resume when you're ready. Now, before we talked about just simple percentage proportion problems, and really all of the proportion problems follow this guideline here, even the commission, the markup, and the discount. So we know that we have the percentage on the top upper left-hand side, and then we have the 100 under the fraction bar there, and then on the right side we have part on the top and whole on the bottom. And I know when we talked about this before, we also said for some of the problems you can just use is, make that better, and of. So make sure that you're copying what I'm writing down on your guided notes just like you did before. So in general, there are three types of percentage problems. You had the 50% of 80, and what percent of 12 is 3, and of course these are just example numbers, and then 10% of what number is 8. Even though the commission problems and the markup and the discount seem really complicated, they still do abide by these types of questions. They just have a little bit more word work to do, and then there may be a step extra. But it's certainly not too difficult, and I have confidence that you'll be able to do it. So what is commission? Commission is a sum of money that is paid to an employee upon completion of a task, usually selling a certain amount of goods or services. So let's say your family buys a new car, and the sales rep who sold the car actually makes a commission based on the amount that the car was sold for, and normally that's a percent. So the cool thing about commissions is that they're really easy and you actually already know how to complete them. Commission problems can be solved just like regular percentage problems.
Yay!
You're just finding the percentage of the original amount, and then you'll have your commission amount. So there are no extra steps. It's just when you see commission, you know that if someone's saying, for example, what is the commission that someone will make on the original amount, it's like saying, what is the certain percent of the original amount? So you can really use just exactly like we did before. So we have an example here. Jim makes 9% of the sale amount each time with each washing machine that he sells. So he's a sales rep and he sells washing machines. Each washing machine is priced at $850. How much does Jim make if he sells one washing machine? So they're asking you, what is 9% of 850? So let's go ahead and do that. We already know how to solve this. Let's go ahead and set up our proportion. We know 100 goes on the bottom. We know our percent goes on the top. And I'm going to go ahead and use my cube strategy here as well. So I had my numbers circled. I'm going to underline my question. And let's see. There's my of hiding in there. Okay. So of each washing machine. All right. So we have is and of. So the cost of a washing machine is $850. And then, of course, our unknown variable is the question, which is X. All right, go ahead and solve this. I know you know how to do that. Use your butterfly strategy. Okay, pause the video and solve the problem. All right, welcome back. Once you solve this, you should have X equals $76.50. You want to make sure you have your dollar sign there because you obviously you need to have your unit, and that's important in any math question that you do. Should be one line there. So that's $76.50. If you got that incorrect, please raise your hand and I will come and help you. Good job. So what is a markup? It sounds scary, but it's really, really not. A markup is the amount added to the cost price of goods to cover overhead and profit. Overhead is how much it costs to keep the lights on in a building. So stores will buy a product and then they'll resell it at a higher price because they have to pay for the salary of their employees, they have to pay for the lights and and the building rent and all of those things. So when you think about the word markup, it's actually a compound word, and you have mark up. So think about an arrow pointing up. The final price will always be higher than the original price if a markup is being applied. There is an extra step that you have to remember. So the extra step is add 100% to the markup percentage to find the total sales price. That's it. So a real world example. Tickets to the new Beyonce tour concerts in Cleveland were selling at a 66% markup for $115. What is the original price before the markup is applied? So don't forget, you have to add 100% to the percentage. Let's do our addition first because that's important and that's our extra step. So we want to make sure that we do that. But I'm going to go ahead and use my cube strategy before I do my first step because that's always important, isn't it? All right, what is the original price before the markup? That's going to be our variable. And all right, so we're good there. All right, so add 100% to the percentage. We know our percentage is 66%. So 100 plus 66 equals 166. Okay, simple. Then our fraction bar. We know 100 goes on the bottom. We know the percent goes on the top. Now, what is the original price before the markup? The original price goes on the bottom. Now, this may seem strange when you first do this because the number on the top, when you solve for your variable, you are going to get a larger number, but you have to remember that's the rule. It will be larger. So it's sold for $115. So that is bigger. That is going to be bigger. So the original price is going to be smaller. So don't be scared because you get a smaller number. All right, I know that you know how to solve this. We've been doing this for a while. So go ahead and pause the video and solve for X and come back when you're ready. Okay, welcome back. So here you actually get 69.277108. But obviously when we go to the store, they don't say that'll be $69.277108. They don't say that, right? And we're talking about dollars. So we're going to round to the hundredths place here. Your hundredths. Okay, so X is going to equal, we need our dollar sign. All right, and it's going to be $69. And don't forget, 5 or above, give it a shove. You're looking at the 7 right here. 7 is obviously bigger than 5, so it's going to be $69.28. Whenever you have money like this, you need to make sure that you're rounding to the hundredths place and you're using that 5 or above, give it a shove rule. So awesome job. Finally, what is a discount? Well, a discount is an amount subtracted or taken away from the original amount. So think discount. You want the price to be lower when you get a discount. You would never take a coupon in and say, I'd like to pay more for this. So when you get coupons in the mail or you find coupons online and you use them in the store, the hope is, of course, that you're going to pay less for whatever the item is. So that price is going to be going down. So the final price will always be lower than the original price if a discount is being applied. So the extra step there is actually subtracting the percentage from 100% to find the final price. So it's opposite of markup. Discount is opposite of markup. So you're subtracting rather than adding. So here's our example. You really want to buy a game at GameStop and finally receive a 25% off coupon in the mail. The game that you want costs $80. What is the price once the 25% coupon has been applied? So let's use our cube strategy. We have our numbers here. And this is the same, so I'm not going to circle that again. Okay. What is the price? Final price, that's our variable. Let's see if there are any words. All right. So we have to use our step that we have, that we're familiar with. 100 minus 25. 25 is our coupon. You always subtract from 100. That's the rule, so you'll always do that. And we know that that equals 75%. So this is like, if you could actually do this in your head. This is like having $1 and subtracting a quarter. You would have 70 cents left. But if you wanted to use your calculator, you could, and you have 75% there. So let's set up our proportion. We know 100 goes on the bottom. This 100 has nothing to do with the 100 that we subtracted on 20 from. We subtracted 25 from. Okay, this is just, we're abiding by our rule. We know we put 100 on the bottom because percent, and that's the rule that we follow. We know that we have 75% now because we had that extra step. The original price for the game is $80. First, from looking at this, I can say to myself, okay, I know this is a discount, so I know that the final price, which is my variable, is going to be lower. If you get a number that's higher, you know that you've done something wrong. And just like we always say, you should, of course, be checking your proportions and checking your answers, because you have the potential to get 100% on your test, because you can always check your answers. Go ahead, pause the video, and solve for X. Okay, for this, you should have the answer of $60, which means that when you go to the cash register before tax is applied, it should have rung up at $60. If you didn't get that answer and you don't know what you did incorrectly, please let me know. Raise your hand and I will come help you. All right, awesome job. Thank you so much for doing your guided notes and paying attention during the video. Please raise your hand and I will come and give you your chips for completing your guided notes. Let's go ahead and complete some additional practice.